Hello once again, our most valued student. My name is Confident and welcome to our financial maths, and here we are looking at the hire purchase agreements and we're going to also look at inflation. So guys, if you are looking at understanding your financial maths, you need to get hold of this two-part video. I've done part 1 and this is the second part. It will solve your issues with financial maths in grade 10. Trust me, it is packaged in such a way that it covers everything you need to know about financial maths. Now watch this video until the end, because it will cover every component of financial maths. Don't forget, check the previous video also so that it does make sense. Now let's look at this hire purchase agreement. Now whenever you look at hire purchase, don't forget it's the simple interest, and we said simple interest meaning use the simple interest formula. So now when you're talking about hire purchase, most of the time hire purchase agreements are house appliances, house appliances. You take furniture, usually they use hire purchase. When you're buying furniture or you're buying house appliances, those are short-term loans, they use hire purchase. Says you decide to buy a laptop costing 16,000 from Macro and you want to purchase it on credit. They require that you pay a 10% deposit and then take out a 24-month hire purchase on the balance. Hire purchase loan on the balance. The interest rate charged on the loan is 22% per annum. Number 1, how much must be paid each month? The amount of interest paid, the actual amount paid for the computer in full after 24 months. So to answer these questions, first you have to understand what are you dealing with. Guys, this thing changes nothing. You are still dealing with a simple interest. First things first, write the formula. A is P1 plus I dot N. You are dealing with a simple interest formula here. Nothing has changed. Now it says you decide to buy a laptop costing what? 16,000. So okay, that is the cost. And then you want to purchase on credit. They require a what? There is the part first. 10% deposit. So what you do, you're going to say 10 over 100. So we're talking about deposit now. Are you with me? So when you're talking about deposit, you say 10 over 100 times the amount, which is what? 16,000. That's how you do the deposit thing. And then you have to rely, of course, on your calculator to say, okay, what is the deposit that must be payable? And then if I do that, it is 10 over 100 times 16,000. Right? So 1,600 is paid. 1,600. So guys, this is the deposit that you have to pay. So now the question is, okay, that is not what is needed. So sometimes questions they will ask, calculate the deposit payable. So this is how you calculate the deposit. 10% means 10 over 100 times the actual amount is 1.6. Then which means, and then you take out a what? A 24-month hire purchase loan on the balance. Now let's find the balance. What is the balance after paying the deposit? You're not going to borrow now 16,000. You're going to borrow 16,000. The balance is what? 16,000 minus what? 1,600. Remember, this is your deposit. It's from you. You paid that money. So you cannot now include it on the what? We can't include this money on the balance. It's not part of the money that you need for the loan. Alright. So if we do that, so we'll say 16,000 minus 1,600. It will give me what? 14,400. 14,000. That's 14,400. So this is the money that you're going to borrow. That's why they are saying 24 months hire purchase on the balance. So this is your balance. So which means you come here now. This part is important. This is part of your marks. Then you come here and say, what is your principal? What are you borrowing? Remember, P is what you are starting at. You are borrowing 14,400. And then what is your interest rate? They say it is 22%. It's 22 over 100, which is 0.2. 0.22. What is the number of years? They say 24 months. You divide by 12, which is 2 years. All these things are very important. Now we want to find how much this loan is going to grow into after 2 years. So you borrowed 14,400, but how much are you going to go pay after 2 years? So you're going to say A is equal to P, which is you're starting at 14,400, which is 1 plus I, which is 0.22 times 2. So you took it as 14,000, but guess what? You know about the credit. You're not going to pay it as 14,000. You're going to have to pay it more than that. So let's look how much it's going to be. So we're going to say 14,400 bracket. Am I right? This is 1 plus 0.22 times 2. See that's equal to. So look at the amount of money you're going to pay. You're going to pay 20,736. 20,736. Remember, this is money, it's in rand. So you borrowed 14,400, but you're going to pay 20,736 after 24 months. So the question now comes and says, how much must be paid each month? A, each month. They say you decide to buy a laptop and you want to purchase on credit. They require you pay 10% deposit and then take out a 24 months higher purchase on the balance. So now since you're going to pay this money for 24 months, so here they are asking how much must be paid each month. So you're going to say monthly payment is equal to, you take that money, 20,736, we divide by 2 years, which is 24 months. Now we don't say 2 years because we want to know per month. How much are you going to pay per month? And then when you do that, it will be 20,736 over 24. It will tell us how much you pay, 864. So per month you'll be paying 864. Do you see that? For 24 months. And then they're saying the amount of interest paid. What interest are you going to pay? Now you know that you borrowed what, guys? You borrowed 14,400, but you paid what? 20,736. So this was A. Now B, their interest, the profit they made from you. You know what you do? You take that 20,736 minus 14,400. So you want to understand how much more yourself did you pay. You know, that's the part of credits. It's very important to know how much more am I paying, which is 20,736 minus 14,400. You paid more, 6,336. That's how you paid more, 6,336. This is their profit, which is in a way your loss, you know, because of going on credit. Then the last one says the actual amount paid for the computer in full after 24 months. How much in total did this computer cost you? That's what they're saying. In total, the actual amount paid. Don't forget, from the loan, you paid what? From the loan, total paid. Total paid is equal to, you paid 20,736. You agree with me? But you also paid a deposit of 1,600. Don't forget, your deposit is part of the whole thing because you pay that deposit and you're still purchasing the computer, you see? So you can't ignore that. So how much did you pay? So we are going to say 20,736 plus 1,600. So in total you paid 22,336. 22,336. This is the amount of money you paid in total. And if you had paid cash, you're supposed to pay 16,000, but it went on to become 22,336. Okay, now let's move on. Again, we're looking at what here? Still on hire purchase, a tablet with Wi-Fi cost 10,579. Mark buys a tablet on hire purchase. HP means hire purchase. So a tablet with Wi-Fi costs this. This is the cost of the tablet. And then Mark buys the tablet on HP means hire purchase and agrees to pay a deposit. There is a deposit and 36 monthly payments of 350. Calculate the total simple interest paid and the simple interest rate. So they want the total simple interest and the rate. Look at this now. You work from the back. What is Mark doing? Mark paid 36 monthly payments of 350. So what is want to find out? How much money did Mark pay? So total monthly payments. Let's look at the total monthly payments that he paid. It's what? 36 months. He was paying what? 350. You see that? So we want to find for every month he was paying 350 for 3 years. So we want to find out for how much did he pay after what? After 36 months. So it's 36 times 350, which is equal to what? 12,600. See? You agree with me? But that is what he paid. But they tell us also with deposit. We are not going to leave out the deposit. He paid out the deposit of what? Deposit which is plus 1,500. Because they're saying calculate the total simple interest paid. Okay, let me first not put the deposit. Let's leave the deposit for now. Let's leave the deposit for now. So this is the money he paid, 36 months of 350. This is the total money paid, and this is the money that came from the money he borrowed, remember. So the total simple interest paid, what was he supposed to pay? He was supposed to original cost. He was supposed to pay what? If he paid it on cash, 10,579. Instead he paid what? 12,600. So we can now answer A to say interest paid. Interest is that 12,600. Remember guys, that's what he paid per month, but he was supposed to pay, so we subtract that 10,579. We can't put the deposit here because he paid the deposit after paying the deposit. So okay, a tablet Wi-Fi costs this. Mark buys a tablet and I should pay a deposit of 1,500. Oh, I need to be careful here. Look at this again. Let me erase this. He pays a deposit of 1,500. But what was the cost of the tablet? 10,579. So we need to subtract original cost less deposit. Let's take out the deposit that he paid, because he did not borrow 10,579. He first paid 1,500, so we're going to say minus 1,500. Let's take out his deposit first and we'll know how much exactly did Mark borrow. That's what we're trying to find out. How much did he borrow from the to finance this tablet? How much did he borrow? 10,579. They needed a deposit of 1,500. How much did he borrow? 9,079. Are you seeing that? So this is the amount Mark did not have. He didn't have this. And then he went on to say, okay guys, if you have got a way of assisting me, then they said we can assist you for 36 months, pay 350. It became what? 12,600. Now they're asking you what simple interest, what interest did Mark pay? The interest now, that's where we are. Interest paid. Then you're going to say, okay, he paid 12,600. He was supposed to pay 9,079 after taking out the deposit. Then that will become the interest rate. Are you seeing that? So we're going to say 12,600 minus 9,076. equal to 3,524. So what is this? This is the interest, the extra money that he paid is this one. Then they ask, the next question is the simple interest rate. What was the interest rate of that he paid? Because at the end of the day, we need to find out what interest rate was it. So you can come back here and say, okay, I use this A is equal to P1 plus I dot N. Remember, it's simple interest. And then you're like, okay, what was the accumulated amount? It became what? 12,600. Remember, that's the money that it became. So you've got 12,600 is equal to P. What did he borrow? P. He borrowed what? 9,079. That's what he borrowed. 9,079. And then 1 plus, we want the interest, and then they said for how many years? For 36 months, which is 1i times 3. Remember, I said you can use this method if you want, this one. But the one I prefer is for me to first find I from the main formula here. So what I do, remember, to find I divide by P is I. A over P is 1 plus I dot N. Get the previous video, you'll understand. You divide by P here, you divide by P, but get the previous video so that you understand how I did that. Then from there I told you take 1 the other side, it's A over P minus 1 is equal to I dot N, and we agreed that if I'm going to be finding I, divide by N, divide by N. So my I is equal to A over P minus 1 over N. And then we said when you get that answer, you multiply by 100. You see, which is equal to A. Check your A now, 12,600. 12,600 over P is 9,079. And then minus 1 over N is 3 years. You multiply that by 100. Your calculator, guys, does this. It can just give you the final answer, trust me. Your calculator is empowered just to give you the final answer. You don't have to stress and ask yourself what's happening, but just put this in the calculator. That and fraction on top. 12,600 over 907679. Okay, minus 1, alright, over 3, and then what you do? You multiply by 100, equal to, there, I hope I did this right, 12,000, this over this is 12,93%. 12,93%. If I did the calculations right, this is that. I hope, guys, this makes sense. And that's the hire purchase. Next one is the inflation in the economy. Now, what is the word inflation? Meaning a steady increase in the price of goods and services over time throughout the economy. So when things are getting expensive, that is because of inflation. Now, for inflation, this is what you need to know. You are going to use the compound interest formula. Alright, look at this. The average price of a hamburger and milkshake in 1991 was 6.60 Rand. Assuming an average inflation rate of 8% per annum, what did the hamburger and milkshake cost in 2006? Remember, what did they say? We use what? The compound interest formula. A is equal to P1 plus I to the power of N. Then you ask yourself, what is my A? They're saying, assuming the average inflation rate, what did the hamburger and milkshake cost in the future? So that's what we want, the cost of the future. P. What is P? The beginning price of the hamburger. It was 6.60 Rand. What is I? The interest of the inflation rate, that is your interest there. It's 8 over 100, which is 0.08. You see how it's like? And then what is the number of years? 1991 to 2006. So from 1991 to 2000 is 9 years. From 2000 to 2006 it's 6 years. So 6 plus 9 is 15 years. Then after that you've got your A is 6 rand 60, 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 15. We want to find out how much is this hamburger costing now. You see, I mean in 2006 in that case, not now, but in from 1991 to 2006, how much is the hamburger? So what you do, you're going to say 6.60, 1 plus 0.08 to the power of what? 15. So there is the hamburger. It's now costing 20 rand 94 cent. That's it. It's 20 rand 94 cent. That's the cost. Think of it. From 6 rand, now it's 24 rand. Because of what? Of inflation. Okay, let's look at the other one. It says the average salary of a computer programmer in South Africa in 1995 was 4,500, assuming an annual average rate of inflation of 6.1%. Would a salary of 9,000 have the same buying power in 2015? When they're talking about buying power, picture it like this. If a friend borrows you money, let's say in 2015 someone borrowed you borrowed someone 20,000, and let's say in 2015 with 20,000 you could buy a very nice TV, a 65-inch nice TV with 20,000. Now we're in 2023. He comes and gives you back your 20,000. Will you still buy the same TV? The answer is no. Why? Because the TV was going up in value, which means your buying power was reduced. You had less buying power. You could buy less now than you could in 2015. That's what inflation does. What you are buying in the future becomes less than what you could buy at that time. That's why when banks are borrowing you money, they put interest. Why are they putting interest? So that they can maintain the buying power of the money. So they are saying here, if you're a programmer in 1995, you are getting 4,500. Now the question is, if there was an inflation rate of 6.1, how much must you be getting now? Remember inflation, I said A is equal to P1 plus I to the power n. Let's see how much a person who was getting 4,500 must get now. So you do the same thing here. We are looking for A now. P, you are getting 4,500 by then. And then I, the interest rate is 6/1, which is 0.061. And the number of years, 1995 to 2000, it's 5 years. And then 2000 to 2015 is 15. So 15 plus 5, this is 20 years. So after 20 years, how much, if you are following the inflation, how much is expected that a programmer will be earning now? So that the buying power does not change from 1995. So you say A is P, which is 4,500. 1 plus I, which is 0.061 to the power 20. We want to say if you were paying a programmer, or if you are a programmer, how much are you going to be paid now? How much are you going to be paid now is 4,500, and then it's 1 plus 0.061 to the power 20. Alright, equal to, so now you will be paid in 2015. We expect to be paid 14,706 rand 87 cents. 14,706 rand 87. This is the expected salary of a programmer in 2015. Now they are saying, would a salary of 9,000 have the same buying power? So suppose they are paying him 9,000, which is no, they are paying him less, because the things in the market, he's going to buy less with 9,000 because the way the inflation was going, he's supposed to be earning 14,706. But how much is this earning? He's earning 9,000. So the question is, will he have the same buying power? No. He will have less. He will have less buying, you see that, power. Why? Because they didn't say why. Because he is getting less than the inflation rate. He's getting less than the inflation rate. He's getting less. What was he supposed to get? 14,000. What is he getting? 9,000, which means he's getting less. Unfortunately, salaries always work like that. To wrap it up, let's look at the exchange rate. Now, exchange rates, you just need to be sensitive in a few things. They are not difficult, just need to know a few things. For example, the latest PlayStation game cost $645 US in New York. That's dollars in New York. What will it cost in South Africa if the rand dollar exchange rate is 12.25 to the US dollar? You must know the rand to the dollar. You must know that the rand is what is weaker. The dollar is stronger. So if you're moving from weaker to stronger, you multiply. For example, $645 to rands, you multiply by the rate, which is 12.25. Then you will convert that money to rands. It must be more. Are you with me? So if you're moving from the stronger dollar to the weaker rand, you multiply, guys, because the rand must be more than the dollar. It's either you multiply or divide. Remember that. It's either you're multiplying or you're dividing. So which one is stronger? If the rand is stronger than the dollar, so you take 645, you multiply by 12.25. That's what you do. And then equal to, and you've got what? 7,001 rand 25 cent, which is 7,901 rand 25. I think it was 7,900. Just check for me. But just multiply this. That's all. Alright. If you like proportion, this is what I prefer for proportion. You say rand. Let's use R here. If you like proportion, which is what I prefer, R is to dollar. So what we have rand to dollar. So 1 US is to 12.25 rand. What about 645 is to X? You see, you cross multiply. That's why 645 times 12.5 is equal to X. That's the proportion there. We'll use it mainly in the next one. It says, on a certain day, the exchange rate between the US dollar and the South African rand is that. At the same time, the exchange rate between the British pound and the South African rand is that. Calculate the exchange rate between the British pound and the US dollar on that day. Very interesting question. So this is how I can approach it. So the first one is 1 is to 12.9. Let me write that. $1, you start with dollar. So here we are saying $1 is equal to 12.91 rand. Are you seeing that? And the other one is 1 pound is equal to 16.52. Here is 16.52. It is equal to 1 pound. Then the question is, look at this, calculate the exchange rate between the British pound and the US dollar. They are not interested in the rand but the British pound. This is what I suggest you do. You do cross multiplication also. Multiply that, multiply that. So what you do is write it as you see it. US $1 times rand 16 rand 52 is equal to pound. I was supposed to say pound. Okay, this is the pound. is equal to pound, 1 pound times rand, 12 rand 91. And they say they want the exchange rate between British pound and the US dollar. So let's focus on the British pound. So what do I do? I'll say, okay, I want to find out how much is 1 British pound. So I divide by 12 rand 91 here, divide by 12 rand 91. So you see, I'll be left here with 1 pound. What is 1 pound? You see, the rand will cancel out. So if I do that, let's look at it. So I'll do this. I'll say here 16,52 over 12,91. Alright, see that 12,91 equal to, and then SD, you say 1,278, which is 1,28. So here I'll get, when you cancel that, it gave me 1,28. The rand is gone, so it's 1,28 times $1, which is $1,28. That's the rand. So the exchange rate. So they're saying calculate the exchange rate between the British pound and this. So it means 1 pound is 1,28 US dollar. You could have done it the other way around here. When you're cross multiplying here, you could have said, okay, if I wanted the dollar to pound, you're going to say again same thing, $1 times 16.52 is equal to pound times 12,91. But now you divide from here, 16,52, this is your rand, remember, over 16,52. So you'll be left with now 1 US dollar is equal to how many pounds? See? So that's what you do then. When you're calculating them, it will be giving you instead the pounds now. Are you with me? So it will be 12,91 over 16,52, which is equal to what? 0,78. So it's 0,78 pounds, meaning the pound is stronger than the dollar. Alright, so guys, that is that. And then let's see a quick one here. Last one. Say Simone is on a trip to the UK to visit her mom. Simone, the current rand pound exchange rate is 18.50 rand to the pound. She has 40,000 to spend in the UK. How many pounds does she have to spend? You see, so Simone is on a trip to the UK to visit her mom. The current rand pound rate, so there is the exchange rate, meaning 1 pound, let's do this, pound, 1 pound is equal to rand 18 rand what? 50. So how much does she have? She has 40,000 to spend. So you see, she has more on this. And then in the UK, X, you see, that is X. So the UK, you are gonna get less. So you are dividing this case, because you are moving from, remember, rand to pound. Which one is stronger? Rand is weaker, pound is stronger. So now if you're moving from weaker to stronger, you divide. If you're moving from stronger to weaker, you multiply. So that's why here we are going to say this is equal to 40,000. You divide by 18 rand 50. Then with that, it will give you the pounds. I'm not going to do that because of time, but just find out how many pounds is 40,000. All right. Population growth. Last one. We're going to end here with population growth. Guys, population growth uses the compound interest formula. A is equal to P1 plus I to the power n. It uses this, but you're going to say, you use this word like this. How you write it? Population after is equal to population before, that P principal becomes population before 1 plus I to the power of n. It's just like that. So here, the mid-year population in South Africa in 2008 was 49,910,000. Calculate the size of the population in 2 years' time. If the average population growth rate is this, I is that growth rate. So if you use the same formula to say P after is equal to, what was the population before? It was 48,910 million. Then 1 plus the growth rate of that population is 1. No. Don't forget, you divide this by 100, which is 0,00134. Don't round it off. And then to the power n, 2008, and then in 2 years' time, so to the power 2. See that? And it can give us now the population to say 48,910, 1, 2, 3, bracket 1 plus 0,00134 to the power 2 equal to, they became that 49,490 million. What is this one? It was 49,041,166. 49 million, you can write that, and I think it's 49,900. I forgot that number, but you round off to the nearest number, because you can't get 5 people. You round it off to the nearest. So guys, this becomes the end of the lesson where we were looking at all the financial maths. As I said, I want to give to you everything concerning financial maths, and that's what I gave you. Go to part 1, and this is part 2, and ensure that you cover everything you need. We've come to the end of our lesson. Remember, if you're not subscribed, do so now. If you want to leave a comment, do so now, and don't forget, share and pass on the channel to your friends and your colleagues. It is good to share. Sharing is caring. They will also benefit as they prepare for their exams. Thank you.